So welcome to the AP Calc Test Prep for Success Extravaganza. Some of the topics that you guys sent me, and I appreciate you giving me feedback there. We'll focus on the ones that you wanted. Going to try something new. It's called Quiz-Is. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's kind of like a game. And then we'll kind of go on through some of the free response questions, the ones where you have to do different parts and it's not a multiple choice, but you have to fill in different answers and things. So I'm going to start off with, and I hope this went well. Yeah, so get a calculator and maybe some paper and pencil just to take some notes. And so I think I'll just kind of go through and explain the first one, and then some of these I'll have you kind of try to work it on your own and see how you do. First example is doing derivatives of parametric, polar, and vector functions. So starting off, we have a derivative of the following two parametric equations: x equal 2t to the third plus 5t squared minus 11t plus 3, and then y equals 7t squared from minus 4t minus 8t. And so we give a list of possible answers to choose from. So what they're looking for is they're looking for dy dx. And we don't have that directly, but what we can do is take the derivative. We can do dy dx is really dy dt divided by dx dt. And if we were to multiply, if we were to flip that upside down, dy dt times dt dx, the dt's would cancel and we would end up with dy dx. So all we really have to do is find dy dt and dx dt.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like if we did try to use L'Hopital's rule, that is the derivative of the top, and then derivative of 2 to the power of x. Like I know e to the x is just e to the x because I think it's just you take it and then you multiply it by ln of the base number. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then you multiply it by itself. So ln of 2 times 2 to the x.
Yeah, so if you were doing the derivative of 2 to the x minus 1. Okay, so this one, it is going to be another L'Hopital's rule problem. So I'll let you guys work on that. On a multiple choice question, you know, they're just looking for you to get the right answer. Necessarily, you wouldn't have to write out the reason why. But on a free response question, you might have to say, well, the reason I know this is because of the L'Hopital's rule. You might have to give a reason. And when we do those, I will try to give you, from what information I have, what they're looking for as far as, you know, if you get the right answer, you get 1 point. If you give the right explanation, you get 2 points, and that sort of thing. So you'll know how it's scored. Euler's method. I think that's the way you pronounce it. Some people say Euler. Euler. So we're going to use this to approximate a value P of 2, and by using a step size of 1. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's like the first time you go through Euler's method, you got to be like real careful of doing it. And then once you do several of them, it kind of makes, there's a pattern to it.
I feel like the hardest part about your Euler's method is just like remembering the equation and like all the individual parts. Because I know at one point, like I messed up the equation. And I was like, oh, it's p dx times change in x or something like that. I got a series of problems wrong, and I was like, oh, that makes complete sense. Because all it really is just the previous value times the slope times change in x, which would just be the change in y. So it really does make sense when you think about it. It's just you got to make sure you remember it.
Right.